Okay, so a new kind of video for the Real Japan today. I'm in Japan, I'm in Akashi, and I'm here with Dan.
Hello.
Who lives in Japan.
Yes, I do.
Thanks for coming on the video, Dan.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I just wanted to speak to some people who are living in Japan because I've got a lot of followers and I know that their aspirations are to live in Japan.
Yeah.
A couple of them have done sort of some small visits, the usual holiday bit. A couple have done like 2 or 3 month visits as well. So, but you have made the proper transition full time, and I wondered if you could. Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to learn a little bit about that and where you're from. So you're from where in the UK?
From Sheffield in the UK. So it's grim up north and all that stuff. Very cold, very grey kind of city, but that's where I grew up, deep in the middle of Yorkshire. So yeah, a bit of a strange one, bit working class background to be honest with you, but maybe 2 years ago I took the leap. I decided to come and work in Japan, found a job, booked a flight. Now I'm here.
How do you make a decision to like suddenly come to Japan? Did you have an interest in it before? Or
I'd always got like a vague interest. Like I always knew that I didn't want to do what I was doing. I was doing some like kind of call center, technical support, coding kind of jobs, and I wasn't really interested in that. Like my degree's in sound engineering, which I enjoy music and stuff. So working in an office is not my thing. So I was like, okay, I want to go out. I want to see the world. What can I do? And of course, like English teacher is the first thing that comes to people's mind. But if I'm going to do that, I want to go somewhere like I'm interested in. And I thought about it, and Japan, like always in the back of my head, I'd always got like an idea that I wanted to go there. So, I went and did some teaching courses, I did some planning and that kind of stuff. And then eventually it came time to look for jobs. And literally I searched like English teaching jobs. And the top one, whatever company I worked for, that was the top one. Click. Monday, that was Monday morning. Wednesday, interview. Friday, email. Okay, come to Japan. Like, wow. It was like just like that.
So you didn't speak any Japanese, presumably?
Very little. I decided I'd like to kind of study just for a bit of fun. Because I'd go, okay, I want to go to Japan at some point. I didn't know I was going to live there. So I kind of learned a bit, but like I said, survival. Like I didn't really, I could maybe piece together a sentence, but nothing special. And then it took about 6 months for the visa to process. Like got all the details, head down to the embassy in London near Hyde Park, and then next thing, I'm on a flight to Japan. And
so how long have you been here now?
Pushing 2 years. It's 2 years at the beginning of May. So 2 years flown. To be honest, it's gone pretty quick.
And we're in a place called Akashi, which I think most people, unless they're Japanophiles, won't have heard of.
You won't have heard of it. Maybe you've heard of Akashi-yaki, which is a kind of takoyaki, but it's kind of rare. We're a bit further down towards Hyogo. We're like in Kansai. It's near Awajishima, if you look on the map, and its closest neighbor is Kobe. So it's not a place that many people come to visit, if I'm honest. But it's a nice place. It's got a nice park. It's got, as we found out earlier, and it's just an interesting place, not far from Osaka. I like it.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And what were the sort of first problems that you faced when you came to Japan? I mean, there must be kind of loads of introductory issues, should we say? But what were the main things, or most memorable, or
the funniest
amusing?
Ones? Just little things that you take for granted when you're living back in England, like suddenly realizing you can't open a bank account because you don't know the word for bank account. Like maybe if you're in Osaka or something, there's going to be some bank people that speak English, but out here there's nothing. So that was tough. Spent like 3 hours with Google Translate. So that was not the most fun use of an afternoon. Washing my clothes with fabric softener for about 3 months before I realised it wasn't washing up liquid. And falling asleep on trains, waking up in different prefectures, these kind of idiot mistakes, but this is how you learn lessons, people.
It didn't deter you, clearly.
Nah, not at all. Like, I found the experiences quite funny, to be honest. I'm going to be an idiot wherever I am in the world, so I may as well learn some lessons.
You're an idiot that's well travelled.
Yeah, a rounded idiot, I guess.
So you've, like a lot of people, you've done the whole sort of social media thing a fair bit, and I came across you from some of your videos on YouTube. You've got quite a following on YouTube.
Yeah, get in there.
And so I just wondered if you could tell us a little bit about what you do with the YouTube videos in particular and your other channels.
Of course. So like like everyone who comes to Japan with a camera, like, yes, I'm a YouTuber now. So I remember day one walking around the Akashi with my little iPhone, filming in portrait mode because I didn't know what I was doing. And like when I started, it was just literally like to show my friends and family back home, like, whoa, look at all this cool stuff. And then one of my friends was like, well, why don't you put it on YouTube? Never thought about it. Oh, okay, put it on YouTube. I'll look back at it in years to come. And then I came here like on my own. I didn't really know anybody. And it became a good excuse to go out and do something new, like go to a new place, go to an event, go to a festival. Because I could convince myself, oh, I'd go to make the video, that's the reason you're going. But in truth, if I wasn't doing the YouTube thing, I probably wouldn't have done those things.
Yeah.
And through it, you end up making friends and making contacts. I mean, like, that's how we came together because of that kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, I've learned as I went along. My main piece of advice for anyone who wants to do it is be consistent. Pick a schedule, stick to it, and learn as you go along. As long as you can improve a little bit every video, that's cool. My niche, if you like, I kind of just make daily videos for the best part, like what I'm doing today, walking around. Here's a cool park, here's a festival, kind of like slice of life kind of stuff. I also do a lot of videos like advice for people who are like traveling to Japan or think people want to come to Japan. So I offer like advice on how I did it and what you should be looking at. And sometimes I just make videos that make me laugh, like, to be honest.
Well, the other thing I've noticed some of your videos, which because I quite like, I'm quite into music,
yeah.
and I know you are as well. And you're quite into sort of the sort of Japanese version of punk really.
Rock. Yeah.
And I was quite interested in that. I didn't know if that was going to be something you were going to make as a bigger feature, or tell us a little bit about that. Cause
it's very juxtaposing. Like, it's very kind of punk music is love or hate. It's very Marmite, I find, with people. And some people on my channel really love it, some people are not so keen. So I kind of like to keep it balanced. I like to give something for everyone. But like my passion in life is music, punk rock, especially I found when I was maybe 13 years old and never looked back. And in Japan, like compared to England, I played in bands for many years in England.
Oh, okay.
And there's kind of like you play in pub corners and nobody really cared what you were doing. Here there's like whole live houses and whole like even smaller cities like Kobe has got so many young bands and so many like DIY record labels but being a foreigner, it's really hard to find your way into these things.
Right.
You have to kind of go a few times and then being the token foreigner, somebody's going, oh, you're that guy. Especially if I'm holding a camera, like, oh, you're that YouTuber guy. Yeah, that's me.
That's a giveaway, really.
Yeah. And then you see you at 2 or 3, and then like, okay, let's be friends online, and you get added to groups where people share events and stuff. So it's very kind of like a secret society in a way. But Osaka's really, really good for it. There's so much going on, and it's kind of the thing that keeps me saying I made so many of my friends at gigs, like my girlfriend and stuff like this, all just through music. And I think if you go on. I was going to say, if you do come to Japan and you've got an interest in music at all, whether it's punk or electronic or whatever you're into, if you're struggling to find friends, find a live show, talk to people there, because people are much more open to meeting people. And if you're into the more underground stuff, you're probably going to be the only foreigner there, so people will remember you. So that's a good bit of advice, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess that's probably a good tip generally, is if you can find a niche that you're interested in, like a hobby or a passion, and really plug yourself into that, it's probably a great way of getting a grounding in the country.
For sure. Like, if I weren't doing what I was doing, I don't know what I'd done with my free time. I'm very much a kind of person that if I'm left to dwell on things, like, I don't know what I'd be thinking, but always keeping busy. And at the end of the day, like, I'm in a unique position to a lot of people. I've had this opportunity where I could come here and start again and new country, right? And to waste that opportunity just like sitting in my room, I could sit in my room in England. Like, so many people come here and they just work and sleep and do nothing, and it's a waste of opportunity. So like, grab life by the horns and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what would you say, in your experience or observations, are a couple of pointers in terms of basic mistakes that people make? Maybe you made them, that you would kind of give some tips to people to kind of like how best to avoid them and better way of going about it, and anything that you saw yourself from your experience or others do that you thought, hey, that's a really good idea, or I should have done something like that.
Like, in terms of like stuff not to do, there's a million videos out there about social faux pas and stuff, and the culture is different, so please be respectful of the fact you're in a different culture. It's not the same as back home. I remember once I was in Tokyo, I was on the loop line, and there were some American tourists doing chin-ups on the train and being loud. I'm like, can we not? It's already hard enough to live here some days. Like, I don't need you guys making it worse. So like that kind of thing, just be a bit more respectful around and understand that maybe it's not the same as where you are back home. Because I see a lot of that thing from tourists. I mean, I get it if you're only there short term, it doesn't matter to you. But think about, you, in a weird way, you are an ambassador for where you're from. And we don't want everyone tarred with the same brush, so show a bit of respect. In terms of like good stuff, I see like interesting stuff all the time from people. Like, whether you're just going off the beaten track and just going somewhere where you don't see in tour guides or like travel videos, that's my biggest piece of advice. Fair enough, go to these famous places like your Tokyos or your Osakas, but don't just go to the places you've already seen videos on YouTube. Like, take a left, like go down a side street, go find something new, find something that not everybody's seen. That's what the real Japan is.
No,
like.
that's I was going to say, that's kind of the sort of thing that I always encourage. Just don't have a plan sometimes. That's the best way to experience stuff.
For sure. Like, I make a couple of travel videos every now and then if I travel, and if you ever watch those videos, you'll see it's quite obvious I've got no plan. Just walking around like, oh, what's this? But that's the most fun. That's the most fun. Fair enough, you miss some things every now and then, but for the best part, totally worth it. Totally worth it.
And what about in terms of being here and home of old being far away? Is there any sort of things that you particularly miss about Sheffield or the UK?
Jaffa cakes.
Everyone says that.
I don't know.
Are they hard to get here then?
Yeah, like impossible. Sometimes, like when I went back to England, I brought some back. And
really?
I got my Japanese friends.
No,
I should have. Like, but I got some of my Japanese friends, and they were like, "I don't get it."
Oh,
like,
really? Oh, they are gorgeous.
Sacrilege. Like, but all joking aside, like, if you do come here long term, especially if you come alone, you are going to get the homesickness thing. It's a fact of life. For the first, I'll be honest, I say it all the time, like the first 2 months I was here, I hated it. I wanted to go home. Like, because I was in a foreign country, I got no concept of what was happening. I just left everyone. I loved the other side of the world. And it takes a long time to get going. So for the first 2 months I hated it and I wanted to go home. But then you stick with it and you stick with it and you get used to things and you kind of grow. It's different if you're coming on holiday for 2 months, you know you're going back.
Yeah.
You don't have that problem, but like knowing that I'm coming here long term, like I know I'm going to be here a long time. So that kind of getting used to the idea, and that's not home anymore, this is home now, was difficult. And I found after about a year I kind of got a bit homesick, but I went home in November last year. And it just reaffirmed the decision that I'd made the right choice, to be honest. Like, I went home, I like, this place is cool, all my friends are here, it's like I never left, but I found myself wanting to come back very quickly. So that, to me, like, okay, I made the right choice.
Cool. And just in terms of some pointers, I'll put some links below the video in the description, but about your social media, because your main channel is your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm mainly on the YouTubes. So if you go to JaDan.co.uk, so if you remember that pen, pineapple, apple pen song, that's where the name kind of comes, like PPAP or whatever it was, the Pico Taro thing.
What you're talking about.
These guys will know, I tell you. So, like, I have an apple, I have a pen, apple pen. So that's how I kind of came up with the name for my channel. Like, I have a Japan, I have a Dan, JaDan was kind of where this came from. So, yeah, JaDan.co.uk. That'll take you to the YouTube. I'm also on the social media. Everywhere is JaDan Dan Dan. You can find me on pretty much everything, and yeah, check it out.
Cool. Thanks for your time, Dan. I really appreciate it. Hopefully some of the viewers will get some good pointers.
Yeah, I hope so.
Maybe follow in your footsteps and make the relocation to Japan.
Yeah, if I can do it, you can do it. That's my motto. Like, I'm an idiot. If you can do it.
Good tips.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, thanks a lot, Rob.
Cheers, Dan.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Cheers, man. Thank you.